Okay, straight back into it. So from the last episode we found the magnet, we found 2 bodies out in the wilderness, and we're now going to do a little bit more exploring. Not sure what else there is to see around here, but let's go check the next house. I think that's probably going to be our best bet. So let's have a quick look at our map. Didn't really want to be getting in the car, but we'll have a look anyway. So let's have a look at our map. So what's nearby for us? So there is a house on this side of the road. So as we're pulled up here, let's go and have a little look. So it should just be down by this box here. Although I expect we don't want to be caught out in the wilderness for too long, especially if there is something out there. There is a lot here. So we have an open garage here. Let's equip our flashlight. We're probably going to need it. Again, more storage. We'll get some more oil. That's always useful. Can you close this? No, I guess we can't. So there's a bird cage. Everything needed to clean up a mess, so they're well stocked at least. We've got ourselves an oil can. Maybe we can top that up with petrol. Don't want to hear that. More nails.
A true Catholic always strives to keep lowly temptations at bay. Obviously, Carl thought, someone in this house wasn't doing a good job at upholding the Holy Bible's teachings.
Ah, what is this?
A peculiar key indeed, too small to fit in a door lock. What sort of miniature object was it meant for?
It's a toughie. Is there anything we can combine? So we have painkillers, first aid kits, cigarettes, and beer bottles. Let's have a beer. I'm guessing that helps to keep us warm, perhaps? Right, so there's a pot here. Well, there's more wood. Lots of wood.
Carl smiled at the sight of the nicely protected garden. Hopefully, the Bedards had managed to dig every last potato out before the sudden snowfall.
You hope so, because otherwise it would be a bit of a waste, wouldn't it? Anything we can take from the bin? Nope. Well, that's been freshly cleaned out, so...
Carl was no burglar. He didn't need to resort to petty techniques such as window breaking to find his way in. A good detective simply looks for keys where gullible souls hide them.
Check the back door.
Carl was no burglar. He didn't need to resort to petty techniques such as window breaking to find his way in. A good detective simply looks for keys where gullible souls hide them.
Always keys under the mat, guys.
For Christ's sake, yet another key hidden under a doormat. Nowadays, Carl found his job didn't present him with much of a challenge.
Let's get our flashlight out. We can't see for anything.
The house smelled like incense, the kind that reminds you of the good Lord, of peace.
Let's get a fire going. No loose change. An open store. Enough food for rough times, so they're well prepared. But they clearly weren't prepared. Oh, there we go. Weren't prepared enough.
Religion was very influential throughout Quebec many years ago. Indeed, it was surprising that Carl did not come across a single chapel since arriving here.
I've no idea what I just made, but I made something. What's this? Oh, more Polaroid pictures. Let's see if we can get anything off through on the telephone. There's a whole lot of nothing in here, guys.
Good Paul VI, appearing papal. His crooked fingers gave the impression he was about to bestow a miracle.
Always useful to take these stakes, guys, because I have a horrible feeling that we're going to get picked on by wolves at some point during this. What's this?
The perfect cookie-cutter Catholic family, most likely attending church every Sunday. Who knew that giraffes thrived in the North Pole? The craze for toys was stupefying.
It's been clogged by something. Okay.
Love of religion and ancestors was rooted deep inside the hearts of Canadians of old, to which the Bedards appeared to be closely related. The family's mother must have spent her days washing the filth off her kids' diapers.
Ew, so they reused them? Aha, what's this? The key opened a journal by the looks of it.
The Bedards had vacated the premises. Carl gathered they would be of no help.
Right, so Jean-Luc never had the knack for mathematics. Try as he might, he'll never realise that he simply cannot be the father of the child I'm bearing. But how can I be sure? I have to keep this secret, at least until the time is right. Ah, so she was unfaithful. Dr. Beaupre told me it would start showing soon, that I couldn't keep it hidden forever. Got to muster courage, he said, with his usual condescending tone. Courage to face what's coming. But he doesn't get it at all. For him, I just had some childish affair. He doesn't realise I've brought eternal damnation upon myself. Marie is very sick, and Jean-Luc plunges into despair. I told him nothing about the evil growing inside me. Sometimes I get the feeling he can see right through me. My Marie's suffering, and I'm the one to blame. O Lord Almighty, why do children have to pay for their parents' sins? I see, so she was unfaithful, and she now blames herself for her daughter being ill? There doesn't seem to be much in there. We've got dream catchers up on the walls. Just kids' drawings. Another little journal, let's see.
Too bad the Bedards hightailed it out of here. Jean-Luc could have led Carl straight to William Hamilton's doorstep.
That's a shame. I lost appetite. I can't sleep anymore. Every waking hour, intense shivers run through my body. Dad's making me see Dr. Beaupre, with his big hands touching me everywhere, his foul breath exhaling all over my face. Yuck. I'm not sick, I'm in love. I love Martin so much. There's nothing I like better than thinking about us playing together like we always do. I wonder if he found the key I lost the other day. He was pretty sad when I did, because it's for his dad's garden shed. And Martin has always been afraid of him. I think Martin's dad is a bit like Dad's god. The key fell in a burrow next to the shed. Poor Martin, he cried like a baby, but I still love him. So in a burrow next to the shed, we'll find a key. Alright, okay, so that's helpful to us. I don't think there's much more to find here, guys, so back out we go. Let's have a little look around the back first, though, because I saw some big piles of wood. So who knows, there could be something here. Ah, more tracks. Let's follow these and see if we can find out more about what's happened. What do they need here? What is there to see? Aha! Empty bottles strewn on the ground. Yeah, let's make ourselves a campfire. We can keep ourselves warm if we need to. So there's more to follow. So people came out here to drink. Then this leads even further. Through this brush once again. Looks like it was tracking something, perhaps. a campsite. What have we here? Let's see if we can we get in there? Would be nice to get that pack. Guess we can't. But where is this track leading us? There must be some purpose to it. Here we go. Wow, we really are out in the middle of nowhere now, guys. I'm really not liking this. We just might luck that something will jump out at us. But it's the only way, you know, we've got to try and get ahead of this mystery. We've got to find out what the hell's going on, meet with our client and get these answers. Oh, what's this up ahead? Another clearing? Oh, it leads back to the general store. Okay. That was a little bit of a roundabouty route, but oh well. Now we're going to try and get back to our car. I wonder if we can fill up that gas tank while we're here. We might as well. Plus we can warm ourselves inside, because I expect that being caught out would not be a good idea.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
Okay, then. I was going to say we're down to 80% there. So we'll activate pump 2. Let's see if we can top up this.
Everyone knew the stories of Donalda and Alexis, and everyone hated Serafin Poudrier just the same. Even at the edge of the world, this was no exception.
And there we go, we now have a nice full gas tank, so that way if we are out and about and we get in trouble, we can actually get some gas in the car. So I'm guessing there's going to be a few points in this game where we need to be prepared. Let's hope that we can make it back to our car before we freeze. What we'll do is we'll pull the map out as well as we're going along. We'll get back down to our car. We'll check that final house right the way to the south. Then we'll make our way back to that locked little garage shed we found. See if we can get some more answers there. Nearly back. There we go, so there's the property on the left we went to before. Let's see, so is there anything in the mailboxes, perhaps? No? Let's go get the car. We're going to need it. No mail there either. So let's head further back down the trail and we can go and find out some more information from some of these other houses. If I recall, it was on the right, so an eye out on the right side. We're looking for another mailbox. Alright. So good job we dodged that. Ah, here we go. Let's head on down, shall we? That's a good sight. So let's see what we can find. Oh, so we have a dog It's got a little shutter flap on it, so that keeps the dog nice and protected. Take the glass bottle, always useful.
It was a classic Canadian house, except for the absent horde of kids that would normally be swarming about.
Okay, let's get some light. Got some more firelighters, always going to be useful to us. What have we got? Get these logs. We'll start a fire. What's this? Matthew had yet to add murder to his curriculum. He was fond of new experiences, especially the most thrilling ones, and taking the life of a flesh and bone individual who the night before was still able to think, dream, fantasize, calculate, read, held the promise of exhilarating sensations. Unlike Raskolnikov, it wasn't about axing an old Jewish hag to pieces to test some lunatic theory, not at all. Matthew just wanted to know how it felt. It seemed so simple, horribly simple. He didn't have any particular victim in mind. Like most people, his desires ran quite wildly, so he only had a vague idea of them in mind. He pondered using a rifle or a knife, assassinating a young girl or an old man. He tried to focus on practicability. His victim would have to be defenseless. Bodybuilding wasn't exactly Matthew's strong suit, and he would have to act spontaneously, but not too much. He wasn't that eager to learn what spending the rest of his life in prison would be like. Some experiences just carry too high of a cost to be worth it, really. That's a fancy. Is that him writing a book, or is that like a memoir? Because if so, that dude needs help. There's nothing much in there. Nothing there. Nope, we don't really want anything out there either. Cookie jars are always too high to reach. Amen to that. Okey-dokey. So what do we have?
The couple radiated something akin to lightheartedness, to freedom. Perhaps some people out there truly found a way to live happily ever after.
What's this one?
A picture of Wilfred in his youth. Carl figured right away that the man must have been some kind of wildlife officer.
Ah, so he knew his way to survive.
The photograph was snapped not too far from here, Carl noticed. The couple seemed to be very good friends.
Some more aspirins. It's always useful to keep those around. We've got enough drugs to start a pharmacy at this rate, guys. What's this piece here? The fantasy, page 2. Ah. It was around that time that Matthew met Beatrice. Of mediocre beauty at best, the girl, with her distinctive features, cheeks covered with large pox-like freckles, Jew nose, oily forehead, tired but vibrant eyes, shaded red hair, slender as a child body, chirpy laugh, you name it. It was the very image of innocence. That happened to be precisely the kind of victim Matthew was picturing in his mind, though. One night, as he was contemplating the ceiling from his bed, he swore to himself again and again, "I'll kill her." His dreams were later filled with images of the imminent crime. He'd come up with a simple enough plan. One fine evening, he would visit her place to become familiar with the area's intricacies and feel closer to the impending murder, to slowly dig into Beatrice's thoughts, desires, dreams, and abilities. This way, he'd be able to get a concrete sense of what his sinister deed would be stripping away from the very fabric of life. The whole thing would take 2 days, a week at most. Yeah, this dude, he needs help. He needs a whole lot of help. What's he got in the box? Konapoly. Oh, so their version of Monopoly. I like it. Okay, what we got? Is this... Page 3. Okay. The first time he met Beatrice, however, she unexpectedly revealed her troubled origins to Matthew. She was adopted at the age of 4, and recalling her former life still gave her a hard time. She played piano in so graceful a manner that people often thought she may be the natural offspring of a musical virtuoso. She always cried before falling asleep, torn from the inside by a dreadful pain that she couldn't explain. She confided to him so profoundly that Matthew couldn't get enough, coming back every night to learn every single thing of what would come out of that delicate mouth after pulling one last breath out of it. Every night he reflected on what the death of Beatrice would mean in terms of losses to humanity's common heritage, be it the sound of her sobbing, of her piano melodies, the compulsive tapping of her long index finger on her temple when she harboured dark thoughts, or any other little thing. It didn't matter, everything would indiscriminately vanish. Everything. All these thoughts made for some blissful slumbers indeed. Then days became weeks, and before he knew it, it was Matthew's turn to throw his secrets at her, his hopes, his cries of despair, as if throwing coins in a wishing well. She'll be dead by the end of the month, he promised himself. Wow, so taking a dark turn now, isn't it really, guys?
A murderer's diary. Carl's detective training compelled him to write some excerpts down. What sort of monster could give life to such a bizarre tale?
Yeah, there's definitely some twisted stuff going on. The two lovebirds were still going at it 7 months later, though, confiding fears and desires alike near the fireplace several days a week. The populace took notice, and wounding words eventually found their way to Matthew's ear, prompting him to take action to prove his gentlemanship. He had to ask Beatrice's hand in marriage. He would have more than enough time to kill her later. Today, when Matthew stares at the motionless ceiling, just like he did 20 years ago, he still wonders what he would be removing from existence by slitting Beatrice's throat. What he would be depriving his children of, then. As if soothed by his fantasy, he gently drifts off, smiling the night away. Yeah, this dude's creepy as all shit. He needs help big time. Like, big time.
Not a single rifle left. That had to be a bad sign, Carl surmised.
That's definitely not good, guys. Definitely not good at all. Cool bag. Got some rifle rounds at least, but we can't really just throw them at people. It wouldn't really have the same appeal. So I guess on we go. We'll have a little look in the little room off to the side. Does not seem to be much of note here, guys. Aside from the fact that that guy's clearly an absolute nutcase. But look, wolf tracks. So I guess we should see where they lead. So it seems like the wolves, or the beast itself, can come and go quite freely without being noticed. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, to be totally honest. But we have, what have we here? Cold beers. Let's get another fire lit, just so we can keep ourselves warm. Maybe there's a way to get into here. Alright, what have we got? Another round, some more oil. Oh, we don't need it. You must only need one. Yes. One set of fires. More firelighters. Oh, what's this? Oh, more Polaroid photograph pictures. Padlock. There doesn't seem to be much here that we can do. Take logs from the fire, but we don't really need to do that right now. Let's go back to those wolf tracks. There must be something else. No, so the wolf tracks lead this way. Ah, here we go. We're quite off the beaten track again here, guys. What is this? Like a ritual site, perhaps. What's this? Oh no, this is the other house. Did we follow this trail? I can't remember. I think this is the trail that led us down to the camping site and then back round. But I'll take a quick look. Frozen lake. Let's have a look at this, because this is another one of those weird turns. There's something here you can look at. Yeah, I've been here before, but I didn't look at it very much in that last time, did I? So perhaps there will be something to see here later. Okay, let's head back. We're going to go jump back in the car. And in the next episode, you can join me as we go and explore a lot more depth behind the other cities around the edge. Sorry, not the cities, the other houses around the lake. And hopefully, we can find our way to the doctors and finally meet up with the client. But as always, thanks very much for joining me in this episode, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you again in the next one.